My God, 2024 is starting off exceptionally busy, just everything going on. But I don't see a lot of people talking about this just yet, and I have kind of a multi viewpoint on this. So, for those of you that maybe don't follow politics, you may not know who this guy is. This is Kim Jong Un. He is the dictator slash leader of North Korea, who starves his people on a daily basis, and then makes a lot of threats, but doesn't really do anything. Now, if you're new to politics or you don't follow politics a lot, it is important to pay attention to what North Korea is doing because, as far as we know, they do have nukes. Most people would say they don't have a way to get them anywhere. Like, the most they could do is plop them into the ocean around them, but they don't have a capability to get them to mainland United States. Now, that's not to say that they couldn't, that they don't. We don't know that. Our best intelligence says they can't do much. But now, again, if you haven't been in politics much, then I'll update you on some of the jokes that are made about North Korea, which is that Kim Jong Un here, Jong Un, and his father, grandfather, etc., would often, when they were running out of food, start threatening the world, and then we would send them aid. The United States would send food aid there, pardon me, under the guise of the fact that the people were just starving and they needed it for the people. It never goes to the people. And in fact, quite funnily, if you look back when Kim Jong Un here took power, he was very thin. And then shortly after becoming a leader, he gained a bit of weight. I'm not making that up. You can look at the pictures for it. So it's kind of a well-known fact that dictators of that country and the cabinet members tend to do fairly well, but the general people don't. And you should really look into the history of North Korea to see how things have gone there. So now, though, it's saying that because everything's become destabilized in the area, Kim Jong Un is threatening war, maybe preparing for war. They're always preparing for war. Something that's going to be obscure reference that very few people are going to know. There's a anime movie called Memories that has 3 short films, and one of those short films shows this giant machine of a nation just once per day firing shots into the clouds and saying that the enemy has been kept at bay, even though there's no proof of the enemy or anything, but the people still blindly follow and work that machine. That's kind of what North Korea is. Anyhow, though, this time I'm not sure if he's actually threatening because he wants food and money, or if the sanctions that we've been imposing upon North Korea have had such a drastic effect. Also, we have to take into account that we know that North Korea has worked with Russia before and are not afraid to do so again. So, in light of what's happening in Ukraine and other world issues, and this talks about issues they're concerned with around the region, that they may just be at a tipping point for it. And so, while I've always seen North Korea as kind of a joke of a country, and the dictator is just being a very small man who just shakes his fist at the sky and we drop food near him, it seems ridiculous. I still do realize a person like that could be dangerous. Now, I know a lot of older white people be like, "Oh, I've been doing this for years," but like with many issues, we have to start taking some points of it seriously. Now, this is where I get into my own opinion, and I don't see this opinion on a lot, but I'm going to put it out there because that's part of why I have this channel and why I make these videos, which is I wish they would just do something. I'm so tired of everybody just sitting on both sides of the fence, yelling at each other, but doing nothing. And I'm tired of us just kind of sitting back. The reality, in my opinion, is that we're not going to get a more unified globe. We're not going to get things to be better until ultimately things are pushed. And it's kind of dystopian and scary, in my opinion, right? Because that means either the United States is going to have to start becoming, more so than what it is. And I don't like this idea, but either we're going to have to start invading countries and taking those countries over with the idea of join or die, or it's just not going to happen. And I don't want that to, but we're never going to have a unified planet. We're never going to have unified resources. There are always going to be starving. Not that it's going to completely get better under that, because I already know that portion of it, which is that if it's one country controlling everything, there are going to be a lot of people left out. But the conflict portion just needs to happen. And we're overdue for it. Historically, we're overdue for it. Somebody is going to do something. This is what happens. Empires rise, empires fall. Unfortunately, the current empires as they are just kind of sitting. They've been sitting for far too long. These power shifts occur within the natural order of things, and we have stagnated that via our governments doing manipulation of currency, food, the markets. The problem now is global warming is going to be pushing some of those choices because the resources are going to be harder to get. We won't be just taking resources out of want, it'll have to be out of necessity. And in a lot of science fiction, which unfortunately a lot of science fiction is translated in truth at this point, we're going to start getting into the resource wars. This is going to start happening. Where Fallout used to be just a fun story, if we all remember, Fallout started, the game, I'm talking about the game series, Fallout started because of a struggle for resources. That's how that began. So I'm not saying we're going to get that world necessarily, but that stops being a fun, haha, great adventure story and becomes a scary reality because of that. So, but I'm at a point where I'm tired of hearing North Korea make threats. I'm tired of stories where, you know, this man is just shaking his fist at the sky again. And I just wish they'd hurry up and do something. It's like, just do it already. Whatever you're going to do, just do it so we can move on with the next stage of everything. Maybe because of my age and the generation I am, having grown up through so much stuff, I'm just so tired of the threats and I'm so tired of the back and forth. I just wish they would do something already. So that's my take on it. I mean, I'm open to hearing more. I'm pretty sure if any comments are going to be left, it's going to be by older people who are going to be like, oh, they always do this, we just give them food and they shut up. And like, I'm tired of the excuse though that he's just hangry, and that's the issue here, because it's like, oh my god. But I really wish he would, so that we could just do what we should have done from the start, which is just invade North Korea with an alliance, invade North Korea, free the oppressed people, start deprogramming those who've been brainwashed to believe that state lie, feed those who are starving, get everybody out possible, and just either knock that country down and rebuild it from start or something else, because those people really don't have a good history there. They have a history that's been fed to them full of lies, and that's it. Not that the United States is too much better. I mean, we're not awful like they are there, but we definitely have our issues. But anyway, what are your thoughts on that, guys? And as always, keep it simple, please.